Oh,
the
wait,
numbers
did it?
and the non-capital letters, which got me.
Oh,
'Cause
right.
it's not-
Should I capitalize it too for now?
Yeah, maybe, but then it'll still look really weird because it's like a capital N, then an O, and then a 2, a number, and then like another It's just there's no way it could look.
But you know,
normal.
like when people are trying to emphasize someone saying something retarded, they start capitalizing random letters.
Yeah.
It's just the worst thing to read.
Okay. Should we start then?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CabinCasting. We've had to change the name due to copyright issues. And joining us on the couch today, Mr. Sam Tyler.
Yeah, hey.
He is a brother to Michael Tyler, who you've heard on the podcast before.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have Chris,
Yellow.
Ben,
Hello.
and Michael.
Hello.
So, Sam has just joined us from London.
Oh, yeah.
He's fresh in. He recently moved 2 months ago, so he's about to tell us what it's like to move into London.
Oh, man, London is... Man, it's pretty rough in some areas, but it's probably not the areas you're, like, thinking about it. Like, okay, everyone knows that London is really expensive.
Yeah.
But because of that, like, everyone kind of lives in house shares, but I didn't really appreciate, like, how common that was until I moved to London.
Okay.
Like, virtually no one lives by themselves until maybe you're looking at, like, manager level people. So,
Yeah.
like, quite well off people. So, everyone else lives in, like, house shares, and I'm not a fan of house shares, man.
Yeah, but it depends on the people, I'd imagine. So.
Yeah, so if they're your friends, it's not so bad. But, like, it's, like, a really weird one I was part of, because you get, like, I don't know, hundreds of these agencies that just pop up everywhere. Like, they find these landlords with places that they want to rent out, and they just, like, cut up the rooms essentially for, like, multiple occupancy.
Yeah.
So you just get random people moving in and moving out. It's kind of like a hotel, but inside a house. It's really weird because you never know who actually lives there or who doesn't.
That would be quite concerning if you didn't have a lock on your bedroom door.
Oh, luckily I had a lock though. But I mean, still, it's a flimsy thing. I could probably kick it in.
So are you saying you could like go cook some eggs on the fryer and like
Yeah.
there could be a random guy having a shower coming through with his shirt off?
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, I think one time, like, I just saw, like, a random, like, woman, like, leaving from one of the rooms. And I was like, what, who is this? Does she live here or not? And I don't even know. We were just like... I just walked straight into my room, locked my door, and like,
Okay.
not dealing with that.
Have you made any friends with your flatmates or housemates? Or are they quite cold?
No. Like, so... Let's see. I think I saw a few guys a few times. But then apart from that, I don't really see people that often. And when I did, I wasn't even sure if they lived there or not.
Oh, okay.
There's like, I think there's like 3 people or maybe 4 people over the course of the time that I knew lived there for sure. It was like a 6-bedroom place, but
Yeah.
pretty sure they were switching out. One person lived on the other side of the wall from me. It was like this... I don't know how old she was, but, you know, like a redhead of some sort. But I know it's like a really fire redhead as well. And I'm not sure where the accent was from. And I'm not even sure how old she was, really. Live like the JRE podcast.
We're live now, Sam.
Oh, sweet. Oh, there. But yeah, there was like a fiery redhead. Not sure how old she was because the first time I saw her, I thought maybe like early 30s.
Yeah.
And then like the next time I saw her, I was like, wait, maybe she's a bit younger. And then I think like the third time I saw her, I was like, I think it was just her voice. Like, I think she like smokes maybe like 60 a day or something.
Like deep and dulcet. Or croaky.
Yeah, like a bit croaky, bit aged.
Oh, okay.
It was like a bit weird, but she might actually only be like a few years older than me. Because like when I actually like took a good look at her face, she was like, wait, no, this person is actually probably in her 20s. But I just assumed she was older because her voice was kind of like pretty old.
Do you think it's harder to deduce the age of someone in their 30s compared to their 20s?
Maybe. I think it all depends on like especially like race and like how badly like they age. Because for example, Japanese women, like, impossible until maybe they're 50. You don't even know. Between like 20 and 50, it's really difficult to tell for them. But I don't know, like, I would say it's probably easier to tell when someone like hits the later stages of like 30. So like someone that's like say 35 and
Yeah.
onwards, it's easier. For
Someone weathered from work, you know.
whether from work.
The stress.
Yeah.
We have a whole lifetime of that to look forward to. Don't
Oh,
worry,
man.
that's...
Yeah.
So whereabouts in London was it, Sam?
Or give it away now, or they're gonna find him. They're gonna find Sam.
Oh, yeah, I don't live there anymore.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Nah, it's all
Give
good.
the exact address
The exact address.
and the landlord's name.
I actually don't know the landlord's name.
What? How does that work?
Because I mean, like, the landlord is kind of just the puppet. I think I still had to respond to him. I have him saved as landlord in my phone.
Okay.
But it's like the agency, the Sterling de Vere or
Oh, okay,
whatever it
yeah.
is. Like, they're the people that I communicate with primarily. But man, those guys are incompetent too. But if you want to know, it's Shadwell. So Shadwell is like, I would say like the first like proper sort of like I don't know what you would call it, because like London is not really even a city, it's like a region. So you have like the centre of London,
Yeah.
Westminster, that are both in the
all
centre.
the landmarks.
Yeah, all the
Pretty much.
landmarks around there and all the business sector and stuff like that. And then like you have like, I guess like towns and like mini areas where like people
Yeah.
actually live
Yeah.
in general, and it's like the first one east from the centre of London.
So that's quite a good position then, I'd imagine.
Yeah, like it was super close. Like I could bike to work, like if I was trying hard, in about 7-8 minutes.
That is pretty good.
Yeah,
It's just-
and
You have to offset that with the price, I would imagine.
yeah, like I think part of the reason why it was relatively cheap for London anyway, where I was living, it was only $5.90 a month, bills included.
That's not bad.
Yeah, like it should have been $6.90 a month, but
Did you haggle? Did man haggle?
we managed to get a deal somehow. And also I think it's just because like they wanted people to move in, because I think they tried to take advantage of the uni students, because I think even like the redhead I was talking about earlier is a uni student,
Yeah.
so it sounded like that. But prices are cheap when I moved in, because it's when the students and everyone's like moving out. But then now prices are a bit more expensive because everyone's trying to get a place to start
yeah.
uni, so it's not as cheap. Like if I wanted that same place, I probably had to pay like maybe $7.50 now.
Yeah. So they can increase the rent monthly.
Yeah, that just arbitrarily. But I mean, like if you sign a contract for 3 months, then that's what you pay for the 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, it's only if someone else comes in like after you and it's like, yeah, we've hiked the prices, you're paying a different amount.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. It's only one stop on the train from Bank, the DLR train. So it's super
District
quick.
of London.
Nah. I think it's Docklands Light Rail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, what work did you do in London?
Oh man, so I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say about what I'm doing at work.
What is it?
Just-
Is it illegal?
He's a drug dealer.
I'm trying.
He does have a.
This is
The
no
hippie shirt
drugs.
on.
No, no weed related, nothing like that.
For our viewers, it's Bob Marley with Peter Griffin's face.
Yeah, but yeah, I had to like sign an NDA.
Okay, non-disclosure.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Agreement.
at least for 2 years, I'm not really sure how much I can say about my work, but
sounds awfully shady.
yeah, I mean that's like London for you, man. But
Yeah.
I might be able to talk more about my work maybe a few months time if I come back on the podcast.
Ooh.
Oh my days.
Because yeah,
Keep the viewers intrigued.
Yeah.
That's what we like, man.
Tune back
and
later.
it might be pretty interesting because I might be, you know, doing stuff for someone like Spotify even. You know, something like that. Yeah.
Maybe the podcast will feature on Spotify. It's still only on SoundCloud at the moment.
But
Alright.
like, I guess the general job description is like I'm just an Android developer.
Okay.
So yeah, and like just doing like senior Android development. Like it's pretty interesting for like people like love code, but for everyone else, I just make apps work. Some people get confused when I told people like what I do. They're like, what is that? What? Android? What do you do?
So, do you create the apps or do you just maintain them?
It depends. Like, if it's for like a big company, just like maintaining it.
Okay.
But like sometimes, you know, if I was like doing some work for a smaller company, then they'll just like give me what they call requirements, which is just what they want. And usually they're not good at describing what they want. They're just business people. It's like, we want that, and that. And then from that, I have to create the whole thing. And maybe like lead a team to like develop the app from scratch, something like that.
Ben, didn't you crowdsource this Indian guy to make an app for you when you were younger?
We've all had our past. I'm too proud to admit it. But I've had my fair share of haggling with Indian people. So you've been exploiting the Indians from a young age, is that what you're saying?
Here on the podcast, we are ethical.
Yeah. That's when your lawyer should have told you to no comment.
No comment.
I refuse to. Tim, edit that out. No, joke. Basically, I had an app idea and I got a quote on how to do it, and basically the guy was like, it was a bit dodgy because the guy told me to tell him the price first, and I was like, I told him what I wanted, and it was just, I don't know.
Did you just phase out?
Yeah, it just phased out.
Just phase out.
I was like, I got to
Phase
start
out.
A levels now. I'll give up.
Oh,
I'll give up on it, but
here at CabinCasting, we don't like to give up on our good dreams. However,
Like, how much did you quote?
I can't remember. But it was like, I just remember telling him I haven't got the money now. And he was just losing interest completely. And I was like, alright, fine, be like that then.
Man, he's not like a drug dealer. No credit, man. No credit.
There's a few Indian people actually. Like, I think there was like 3 of them. I asked.
Free.
And they all gave different prices, and yeah.
is that idea on the shelf now, or is it in the bin?
It's in the bin.
In the bin.
Was it that dodgy?
Because I found another app which done exactly what I was.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
great.
Well, how much? What's like the cheapest one that you got back?
I actually can't remember because he kept on. He told me about renting out freaking what's it called?
A server?
Yeah, servers. He started talking
Okay.
servers and all that, and I was like,
This is above your head.
shit, I didn't think about that. And then yeah, I know it wasn't that serious.
Okay.
I was just bored after GCSEs and was like, let's get some quotes and then leave that dream there, you know.
Oh. So
Hey, what was the app idea? Sorry, I just.
App
couldn't
idea
find out.
was basically having every social network into one app, so you can post from one spot, from one app, and
Yeah.
it goes to like all of them. But that was before Instagram or Facebook before Instagram.
oh yeah.
But now on the gram you can like share it to Facebook, can't you? And so that's kind of phased out. And also I found another app which done it exactly that.
Yeah.
The guy was some billionaire, and I was like, shit, I'm not competing with this guy.
I
was like, I'll leave that
so
there.
funny. I just like how the Indian was like, I'm not sure he knew what he was talking about. He said, "Oh yeah, so I'll set you up some servers or something." I was like, "You don't need a server for that."
I was like, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
You're the expert here.
He was gonna rip you off because this is what they do, always upsell. Like he'll make the app for you and say like, "Yeah, you paying like £20 a month for maintaining the server," and there is no server.
That's the Sky Sports you're paying for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ben also had a really good idea a few years back.
Oh, what was this?
This is 24 hours in Asda.
Oh no, you'll like this.
Alright, you'll like the story. Basically, when I was a chubby 14-year-old, was I 14?
Don't know, can't
I was probably 15. I was like, great, I'll start up a YouTube channel, and I'll be like, what's original? And I thought of something original. I was like, that's just 24/7. So let's spend 24 hours in Asda. And this was before everyone started doing a 24-hour challenge. Yeah. Like, this was the very first. This was like two years before I saw the first video go viral on YouTube. And then so I recorded a video about me explaining it. I never got round to it,
Oh man.
but looking at it now, I was like, that kid. He had a dead personality. Who would want to? Who would want to see him spend 24 hours in us? And it was fair enough. I'll leave that dream there as well.
But there was a comment on the video saying, "Man, if this kid had actually done this, he would have been famous or something." Like that.
Really?
That
Yeah.
guy literally just he put the nail in the coffin. He told me if you actually followed through with this, you'd be big. And I was like,
No, I just feel like you should still make a comeback video where you actually do it, but because you look completely different to that kid. It's like with your Rubik's Cube videos, Ben made a video of how to solve the Rubik's Cube. It was part 1, yeah. So tune in next time at part 2. He never made the part 2.
I'll tell you what, I made
guys
part
are the
2.
worst.
I made the rest of them,
Oh, did you?
but I never uploaded them. They're all on the old computer.
Oh, okay.
This is brilliant, man. When people follow tutorials, like, yeah, I'm loving this project. Wait, what do you mean there's no part 7? No.
You see the comments on it. Like, it's just if you want to see disappointment, go to the comments section on that video.
What did they say?
You would not be. It was like, man, where are the videos, man?
There was about 50 people,
It was like, you fool.
50 disappointed people, all with their Rubik's Cubes. Half starved. Getting angry at their mum for no reason.
There's another video I done where I got cyberbullied. No, not really cyberbullied, but it was kind of like, you know how you get unboxing videos and all that.
Oh yeah.
And basically, I just bought a gerbil from Pets at Home. I was like, let's make a parody YouTube video, and I was like, unboxing my gerbil. And so basically, I got it out. I was like, okay, I got this gerbil. It is in white edition, and I said all that stuff.
That was Black Edition, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah,
Black edition.
Black edition. This was like 2012,
Yeah, something like that.
2013. So yeah, I got it out, and I don't think anyone clocked it was a parody. And so at the, I think one of the comments said, "The gerbil doesn't like you; it wants us to kill you." Bear in mind, this was like a 12-year-old kid. His voice had not. He hadn't experienced any puberty at all. He was just some innocent kid, and he was getting all this hate.
It's like, that's savage, man. What the hell?
I mean, it toughened you up by releasing YouTube videos. I'll tell you that. I'm a changed man now.
Yeah.
There's another YouTube video, wasn't there? I done.
Was it how to basic parody?
That's
I'll
basic.
just,
Not going there.
How do you parody How to Basic? Or is that?
I'll just kind of copy him.
Yeah.
It was a rip-off.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. But another video I done, it was of our dog Dexter, and it was just of him walking around the house, and I gave him like something to eat, so every time he moved his mouth it looked like he was talking, and then I put a voice over his mouth, and that done very well, I thought.
Well, how many
Is that
views?
me doing the
It didn't
voice
get
of
many
you?
views. I done it and then you copied me.
Oh.
You done the same thing.
Okay.
But I got one comment saying, I love it.
I love.
Subscribed, and that's what got me here. That's what got me through those dark days.
Well, I mean, I looked at your CV, Ben, when I was hiring you for CabinCasting. I thought, damn, this kid's got credentials. You know?
He's got experience. On these social platforms. You know?
It's all about the experience, you know.
Yeah. But when times are tough, when I think I can't go on anymore, I go back to that comment, and it's some old woman. She's probably still not around. She's probably not around anymore. I was like, I've subbed for this, and I was like, great. And that channel's got 1 subscriber.
Oh.
So only what? How did she even find the channel?
Probably type in dog.
Just
Talking dog.
She probably goes through every single dog video on YouTube.
No. She was probably trying to find Homeward Bound video, you know, the one with the talking dogs. And found you on.
She came across, yeah. But should we link it in the description?
Yeah, for you, for those of you interested, links in description.
Oh, good.
So moving on from the talking dogs, how did you get into software development, Sam?
Oh man. So, well, I guess it started with university, done engineering.
Yeah.
And like we do like a little bit of programming like during the time of the course, and by the end of it, or at least especially after like second year, I realized I'm not such a fan of like, you know, engineering so much. I kind of like hardware when it comes to digital
Yeah.
electronic engineering, but apart from that, like general engineering, I just felt like if I went to work for a company, I wouldn't be able to express my like creativity, because it felt like it was a bit too, I don't know, rigid and like kind of so you're gonna basically write a paper on this specific thing and get bored out of your mind and then continue doing that until maybe 5 years where they give you like enough like techers to like actually like go and do
Techers.
something cool.
Oh, yeah.
But like when it comes to code, like you can pretty much write whatever you want. So I got into doing it more, and I started with writing like code for like websites, especially because I like graphics, like music before. So I tried to make like audio visual experiences, as I call them.
Ooh.
And yeah, I
Ooh.
mean,
On the website. So
yeah,
you can interact with stuff on the website.
yeah. Like my first one is pretty much I made like a graphic in what do you call it, Adobe After Effects,
Okay.
which I did not pay for, by the way. I pay for it now, but I back down. As a student, who can afford it? But like so like I made some like cool graphic, and then it like kind of played a video, and then once the like video like stopped, or let's say it kind of climaxed, it would then go into a loop, and there was like music too, like that I made, and pretty much it was like a solar system that I coded, and it kind of followed, I'm not really sure it's a parametric sort of curve. I'm probably confusing everyone on the podcast now.
Parametric.
Yeah, but it's like well, essentially there were like several orbits around like the center of the page, and
Yeah.
like planets, but it wasn't really planets, or like sub pages.
Okay.
They like spin around the center, and depending on where your mouse was dependent on whether the planets would accelerate faster to approach where your cursor was, or slow down. So it's kind of like, because I've seen like tutorials on like maybe W3 schools or something like that, how to make a solar system. It's like, that's trash, I'm not doing that. So I made my own where like it's more interactive, because it actually, you know, had acceleration and that stuff in it. But then from there, just kept on scaling up and learning more stuff, and
Yeah.
that's
And
pretty much it.
Free videos online, right? And
Yeah,
Experimentation.
it got to a point where I don't like videos anymore. For
Other than
code.
Udemy, please sponsor us. Udemy, their courses are good. Yes.
What, can we actually get sponsored? I was about to cuss them out, man. Not really.
You told me to get Udemy.
Well, I did what now?
Yeah, you gave me a Udemy course, so I thought, you could plug them.
I don't know, not all of them are bad. Like, I think the one I gave you was on JavaScript.
Yeah, something.
And that one is really good. That's probably the only course that I've watched that was really solid. But like the other stuff I've watched, I think it's just that guy. Maybe all his courses are like that good, but like other stuff I've watched was just like, this isn't that good. And in fact, it just made it more confusing.
Okay.
Because especially with Udemy, you get like maybe a course that's like 40 hours of Python to master it or something like that. And it's just like 40 hours of video. That's kind of weird in my mind, because I think the best way to learn something is if someone can take something very complex with a lot of stuff to learn, and they say, all right, let's cut away 90% of it and just give you the 10% that you get 80% of the benefit from. I think that's
Oh,
better to have a foundation.
The 20/80 Pareto principle, isn't it?
Pareto principle, yeah.
You learn that at uni, lads.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we just had a dog come to the
Dog?
door.
A dog.
A dog.
Yeah.
Did,
Oh,
did you just call your father a dog?
No, next to the dog.
It's almost as bad as Michael. What did you do, Michael, again?
Well, a sound was made from outside, so obviously I would assume it was a dog, but apparently it was your mother. But listen back to that recording. That sounded like a no. She didn't sound like an animal, but the sound you could guess it was a
Animal-esque. Okay. So, if there was one course or software you would recommend, Sam, to an absolute novice in computer coding, what would it be?
Oh, to learn it?
Yeah.
Oh. Damn. Well, that's kind of a difficult one. Because I think the most important thing, if you want to say not just do it as a hobby, but you want to do it to actually get a job, is to be super specific.
Okay.
Because employers don't really like a generalist.
Alright.
And like even if you're really good, like say that you had the ability to do web development, front end, back end, and even Android development, like even if you had the ability for each and you put it on your CV, like everyone will throw your CV in the bin. Or maybe some people be interested, but most people like, nah, this guy isn't an expert. So if you had to focus on one thing, I think the easiest thing to get into is web, but it's just the easiest to get into. I don't think it's the easiest to thrive in, just because I think web developers have made a mess of things at the minute. Things are all over the place. But compared to, for example, Android development it takes a little bit more effort. It's a little bit more, what do you call it, startup cost
Yeah.
to get into it, because the Java is at the minute Java and Kotlin is what is, I think, using 99.9% of Android development, and like that's harder to get into than just say JavaScript. But I feel like if you're willing to like take that hit, it's a much better career to get into, because it's just the Android stack, the kind of stuff you have to code is way more condensed. So you can actually get to the point by the time you're a senior that when you move from project to project, you pretty much have 90% of your knowledge right there. So with that, like, what's the best thing for that? That's a tricky one. There might be a good Udemy course,
Hey.
possibly, but it depends. Like, if you're willing to spend money, maybe even a boot camp, but they're a little bit overpriced. But I think there's huge benefit from it, because I think one of the advantages that you get to actually talk to someone, experience.
Okay, so
But,
a
yeah.
live feedback.
Yeah, but maybe the best combo, which is what I'm actually looking to maybe get into, is going and finding a mentor.
Yeah.
So you use like maybe YouTube videos. I wouldn't bother. Maybe you can use a few Udemy videos, especially when they're on offer. So you just get a stack of them for like a tenner each. Then use YouTube videos, and then I think it's important to get a mentor.
Okay.
Because they're gonna make it so much easier for you to be able to interview well and set up your CV well, and because without that, like even if you're really good, you still won't have much of a chance.
Because they'll know the ins and outs of the industry and how to succeed and what's wanted
Yeah,
and what isn't wanted. And a waste of time. I'd
yeah,
imagine.
it's quite surprising. Like, I guess the best advice I could give to anyone without getting too deep into it is that imagine a company needs a cog, just be that cog.
Oh, okay.
Throw away individualism. That doesn't matter anymore. Just be that cog. At least maybe until you're very experienced and you're very confident that you can take responsibility for introducing something crazy in your mind to the company that'll make it better. And
Yeah.
by then, like, they'll pay you a crap ton to do that too.
Damn.
So yeah.
I've got a question on this though. Like for somebody, because you started in engineering, so you managed to transition to this computer science thing. But for
Yeah.
somebody, let's say I was a construction worker, you know, and we're hearing, oh, the work's going, maybe not construction worker, let's just say a truck driver, right?
Alright.
And then my job's going, and the thing we've all heard,
Learn
Learn
to
to
Learn
code.
to
code.
code.
do you think, we've talked about how you get into it, but do you think everybody actually can just learn to code? Like, is there a certain type of person who's just good at, like, is the type of person who can, or can anybody do it?
Oh man, I think it's quite a tough question, because I think with how things are now, not everyone can. But I think a big reason for that is that we're really bad at actually teaching, and I think people are bad at like maybe learning in general as well. And I think it's our limitation and like how well we can actually teach stuff that is actually holding a lot of people back. But I'm not sure that everyone would be able to do it, but I know that a lot more people, because I think it was in US, right, during the Industrial Revolution, something like that, like 5 million people became unemployed, and out of them, I'm pretty sure maybe 40 or 60% never went back to work. So it's like,
Damn.
yeah, I think
That's a
like
lot.
millions of people just unemployed, just collecting.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're really bad at retraining people. Like, I think that's a statistic for US, but the UK is gonna be no better.
Yeah. Probably mirror it, I guess.
But I think it also depends on age, because I have a feeling that like once you get set in your ways, it becomes like very difficult.
Yeah, I guess some people might not want to retrain because of pride, because they've been an expert in something,
Yeah.
and then that's kind of taken away, and then they're completely new to the thing. You got like these 21-year-old kids telling them what to do and like, being so much better. You know?
Yeah, I've experienced that. Like, so like I'm trying to like help like one of my like colleagues, but in terms of like an ability, like I'm the guy to go to, like with the cohort I'm working with right now, and like I'm trying to impart like as much knowledge as possible on like my peers, but like one of my colleagues is like quite a bit older than me, and it feels like at times like he does respect me, but it feels like at times that people still kind of want to follow through things out the way they want to do it. But this is a guy who is believe in his 50s and he's still retraining. And I don't believe he came from a super technical background, but he does have the ability because he then retrained and I think got like 2 master's degrees in one in like I think information technology and another one in computer science. So like he obviously has the ability to do that, but yeah, I mean I think it's just people aren't even ready as a whole. So they think you're gonna go to school, get a job, and then work that job all the way through. But that I think that dream is dead unless you're in a field like STEM. I doubt most people are gonna be able to hang on to their jobs for 40 years like they used to.
Yeah, it's a constantly evolving world, especially these times with the technological revolution.
And the population is increasing as well, and as the population increases, the value of labour decreases, so people are going to get less money as well.
So that GCSE geography coming in.
That is GCSE geography.
Well, GCSE geography is not actually too bad at the minute to do, because if you do GCSE geography, you can do A level, and then you can do it at university.
Yeah.
So one of my friends is starting at UEA. What do you call it? To do is a PG. Oh,
PGC.
Man. No.
Is that teacher training?
Is it PGC?
Oh, I want to say that. But
Yeah.
PG.
It's PG something.
Yeah. Okay, we'll assume it's that.
Yeah. Could be wrong.
Yeah, he'll kill me if he hears me. It's like, come on, man, how many times have I told you? But yeah, so like he'll be spending time at uni, I think getting like half of a master's, and then the other time he'll be spending at like Notre Dame.
Oh, okay.
So like the school me and my brother went to, like just like, you know, teaching, getting to raps for that stuff, and he's going through the route of a like geography teacher, and because of that he gets a 26,000 bursary untaxed. So, yeah, not taxed.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, he's earning more than someone who would make like maybe he's earning similar to someone who makes 35 grand because they still have to pay tax.
Yeah.
So that's like
Damn.
first year, and he's still training. So like I guess maybe when he actually starts working, like it's just up from there because they need geography teachers.
Does he have a degree in geography then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, man, maybe geography is not too bad because I mean, okay, I don't know if we'll still need teachers per se in the same way we have them, but we always need an education system.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What would be the replacement for teachers then?
Oh man, that's a
Just Google.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
like my
Robots.
life story, or I guess
Sure.
where I want to go with like in the future. Because right now I'm in tech,
Yeah.
but I kind of want to use tech to. It's a big claim. I want to tear down the federal education system. Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
Ambitious, but
Sam,
achievable, I reckon.
Sam
this
for
clip is
president.
going to be in a documentary one
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. But it's just like when you asked me before about people retraining, I think it's like because I've done quite a bit on machine learning, artificial intelligence, and like we're spending so much time like trying to teach machines how to learn, but we've kind of neglected teaching humans how to learn. I think maybe in the university sphere they're doing a good job with the neurology, like psychology, and like other sorts of fields like that plays into it.
Yeah.
But none of that trickles down into schools. Like schools are archaic. Like I mean, like I don't know. I mean, it's to the point that even like private schools, like get like of course like much better results than public schools, and they're not much better, but they kind of at least do things slightly better in ways that like are kind of obvious
There's
to do.
There's the belief by some people that the educational system, when it was set up, like kind of its modern day equivalent in like the early 1900s, it was to produce labourers who did mundane, routine tasks without any creativity or innovation, and it's kind of stayed like that model for the past 100 years.
Yeah, I'd say it's still the same.
Yeah, and so the creativity is stunted, and like people's passions may not be created. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I think one argument people always make to like counter that is that, but we need people to do certain jobs and stuff, like, because you can't just follow your passions, because then we're individuals, but we always have to be a bit of a collectivist, because if someone had a passion just going around painting snails, I'm like, I don't know, I don't know, like, who's gonna pay people to go around painting snails. I mean, that might be your absolute passion, but you're not gonna contribute anything to society, which means, like, how are you gonna pay for your house? How are you gonna eat? Because if you're not providing value for someone else, then how are people gonna provide value to you? But I think it's like a weak argument, because I don't think most people are that extreme in like their passions of doing something completely useless.
Yeah, I guess with snails, if you paint them white, the farmers can tell where the hell the snails are.
It's like one guy around my neighborhood. He just goes around crushing snails with his walking stick.
Oh.
Yeah, man. I don't. You probably seen him, but you just didn't know that's what he was doing.
Wait, around my name, like Kossi?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So it's like this old guy where, like, you know, he's got the grey hair. I don't know, just a typical old looking dude with like the cardigan and slacks, whatever. He just walks around with his walking stick. I think he's got like a really weird expression on his face, like maybe his tongue is sticking out half the time, and just looking on the floor like. And when he sees the snails, like,
let's get these snails.
I reckon his wife must have cheated on him for him to do something like that. You know, or something like eventful must have happened.
I guess. We're also painting the snails white. The seagulls can see it more easily, and so they eat the snails, and there's no.
But we like snails, don't we? What have snails ever done to us? You know.
That's true.
The snails have made people paraplegic. Is it paraplegic?
Oh, slugs as well.
Yeah, slugs.
Is it?
They carry bacteria, and it makes you.
But do they eat like certain insects that help stuff? I don't know much about
They
snails. To be
eat
honest.
like leaves, don't they?
We have
Or
Sherlock
just
Holmes.
leaves.
Now, if you're gonna paint them, you might as well paint them glow in the dark.
Oh.
Can you just imagine just looking at your front lawn and just seeing these little blobs just going?
That'd be quite pretty.
You don't.
Yeah.
It's just a genetic modification if you want to glow in the dark.
Yeah, but they'll just all die, right? Like,
Yeah.
just to fit for any other.
True.
You basically just killed off the whole species.
Yeah.
One the glow in the dark one would die because it's easier for predators to see, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm.
So you're pretty much an exterminator.
Well,
Reminds me, we probably need one of them in my office. Like, I was just on the phone to like my mum, like, in the office. It was like after hours, so I think it's around like 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the office is like air conditioned, it's like nice and clean and like bright. Like, prefer staying in the office to like going back to my house. Yeah, so $5.90 a month is cheap. It must be cheap for a kind of a reason. But like, I was just on the phone with my mum. I can't even remember what I was talking about. And then in the corner of my eye, I saw something dash across like the room. I was like, wait, what was that? And then I just turned around because like we're in like a little like glass like cubicle.
Yeah.
It's not that little. It's like a meeting room that maybe about 15 people can fit around. And like but like the main office was like on the other side of the glass, like behind me. So like I just see a mouse looking up at me inside the main office. I'm like, what the fuck? I just ran straight out. And like I try like calling the mouse, and I managed to get it into like the corner of like the room.
Yeah.
And like, what happened there? Like, there was like this whiteboard, and the mouse had managed to get itself stuck behind the whiteboard. It's like, ha, got you, bitch. You're mine. But I wasn't gonna kill it or anything. I just want to like capture it so I can just like take it outside.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's either like someone's gonna come and like kill it, and like, well, if I'm not gonna eat it, there's no point killing it like an animal. But it's either that or it's just gonna potentially just die in the office, and then as it starts to decay, and like
Stinky.
it's gonna get really
Get
bad.
trapped in a PC or something like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know where it was coming from. Like they'll just say, yeah, you guys, you know your code and stuff. Like, nah, like,
It
can
stinks.
you smell that? And they'll just like say, you know what, you guys are probably cheaper than sniffer dogs. Get your nose to the floor and sniff out where that dead mouse is. But like, I got it trapped, and I was like, haha, I got you now. But like, I needed to place the board like a little bit more in the way of it so it couldn't escape, but like I had it, so like I was about to do that, and then the mouse I think detected the movement of the board, and I just saw it leap. I was like, what the fuck? Mouses can jump. Like, it literally like leaped, and like as it leapt, it like hit the bin and like bounced off the bin and like rolled in the air and like scurried off, and I couldn't catch it.
Have you heard of a Splinter?
No.
The Splinter.
Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Ninja Turtles,
Oh.
not Hero Turtles.
Oh yeah.
Hero Turtles.
Is that a common misconception or what?
No.
The Mandela effect.
Has it ever been called Hero?
Nah.
No,
I don't
we
think
all-
so.
Oh, okay. Should have got a poster up in the cabin to remind me. Okay. Well, moving on from Stuart Little.
Should we pause it and see if we're actually recording right?
So yeah, moving on from Stuart Little. Well, how did we get onto this? Sam's played the Stuart Little PS1 game.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean like PS1 games. Like when it comes back to the memory of them, like the nostalgia, they're like, they were so good.
Yeah.
But they really do not age well. They're not like Nintendo. It's not like Pokemon, Mario Kart, Smash, nothing like that. Like these games do not age well, but I think it's part because like the games were challenging, but they weren't challenging because they were good. They were challenging because the controls were so damn clunky. But as a little kid, you can't tell the difference. Like, oh man, this is really hard.
Yeah.
And then yeah, man, but yeah, you should try the game. You should definitely play it. I mean, it'll probably keep you entertained for a while because didn't the game take a while to just complete?
Yeah.
It's not like some modern day games where you're done in 2 hours.
Oh, do you remember Crazy Frog?
Crazy Frog.
Crazy Frog
Oh.
was an awful
That was
Oh.
a
racing
game,
game.
was it?
Nah, that was a racing game. Crazy
Oh
Frog
my
racing
days.
game. We
Oh.
had that.
Man,
Crazy
that was
frog.
back when Blockbuster used to exist. It wasn't even called Blockbuster. What was it called?
It was
Before that.
Blockbuster, wasn't it?
Huh?
Was it not Blockbuster?
Oh no, but I think Blockbuster took over our local branch. But our local branch
Oh.
was even called something else.
Oh, okay. Well, just imagine like a Mario Kart. No. Okay, a Crash Bandicoot, but 10 times worse. I don't really know how to
Bandicoot?
describe because I feel like you could attack people on like a
maybe
Mario
maybe
Kart.
Wipeout, because I don't know. Wipeout is a little bit more of a niche game, but if you know what Wipeout is, I
Oh.
think it's like that.
It's Wipeout with like them pod races, a bit like Star
Yeah.
Wars pod
Yeah.
races.
I think it was a free game last month for PSN.
It was definitely a free game a few years ago.
Yeah.
I remember downloading it
For
for
PS3, I think.
PS3, yeah.
And why were they giving out free games? Was it
Oh,
because
it-
PlayStation messed up?
PlayStation Network
yeah.
got hacked and you could choose two out of 5 games or something like that.
That was their like apology thing. wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Because like it was offline for about a month.
A month? What the?
Yeah,
I
it was
think so.
bad.
Yeah.
What's Sony doing?
It was that bad they gave out free games. To,
And if you have 3 accounts on the same console, you get all the games.
that's the way to do it, man. Yeah. So,
Or-
what?
What was your favourite PS game of all time?
Oh, PS1 game.
Or just any game?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
PlayStation 2.
easy.
You gotta say Star
Easy.
Wars.
Is it?
No.
No, what? No, come on. For me, it's definitely Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Easily. I didn't even have to think about that one.
Sonic Riders is not bad though.
No, it's
So
not. Which one are you
good.
talking about? Are you talking about the first Sonic Riders or?
First one, the one in that.
Nah. Have you gone back to play that? I'm not saying it's a bad
Yeah.
game, but I'm saying it's not. It's not too good either. It's.
I will
It's so
fight
clunky.
you. What are you talking
It's
about,
so
man? I will
clunky.
fight you. I was
It's-
playing that like, what was it 2 days ago
Yeah.
in the cabin?
Actually, no, it might have been yesterday, early in the morning.
Yeah, technically yesterday in the morning.
Wasn't it like 2 a.m.?
Like there are some issues with it.
There
I'm
are
not
major
gonna
issues. I've watched some gameplay back, and just a general steering. It's just. It's
yeah, the
so.
steering is not terrible. Could
But
be
if
better.
we're talking about games which have aged really well, that is not really one. Simpsons Hit and Run compared
Okay,
to
yeah.
Simpsons Hit and Run, you can go back and play that
Yeah.
anytime, and that is still on the level of like GTA 5. Not even
Ah.
it is such an amazing game. I don't even know any faults about hitting one other than. What was bad about it? Was there any faults? No.
I
never
can't
really
really
played
remember
it.
any.
I played.
You never played it.
Road Rage.
Road Rage.
Oh, that's.
When you talk about controls, man, road rage is controls.
Yeah.
Literally, that game is the worst for control.
And
Nightmare.
skateboarding, Simpsons skateboarding.
Yeah, like that game was just really hard.
No one knew the controls for that. I'll tell you that.
Simpsons skateboarding. It reminds me of like when you're driving on like a motorway. But imagine you've got your clutch down and you got the steering like you're driving at like 10 miles per hour, like you're steering all over the place.
Yeah.
That's exactly what road rage and skateboarding was. Complete mess. You cannot control yourself whatsoever. And skateboarding particularly, it was just really buggy, wasn't it? Like there was, I don't know. I think I spent too many hours on it, so I got quite a lot of rage built inside it.
Yeah.
I
Just
can't
let it
find
out, Michael.
Because
Let
I
it
mean,
out.
there are quite a
boxing
few
gloves
levels.
in.
If got some pads, you can have a hit. There's a stuffed dog you can hit if you want.
Well, yeah, I think I know like why like the rage got induced because remember I think the first 2 or 3 levels were fairly straightforward. They were difficult, but you can complete them. And I think it's maybe level 4 when you got to like Mr. Burns' mansion,
Yeah, that one.
and it like asks you to do the skills. Like, but how do I do this skill? Like, I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. It was like, well, I just have to skip this level, and it was no better because they'll ask you to do skills that I couldn't do in those levels either.
Yeah, and there was like Krusty the Krab's like. Was it his
Krusty Krab.
Oh, sorry, not
Krusty the
Krab.
Clown.
Oh no, that was no.
Michael,
No.
are you
Wait.
telling us a message about your
SpongeBob
crabs?
here. Never mind, my bad.
SpongeBob
No,
hitting run.
the clown guy. He had some kind of what is it called? A theater? No, not a theater. Like a
Circus.
circus. Not a circus either. Roller coasters, all that stuff. How have I forgotten?
Theme park.
Fairground.
Theme park. I guess you
Oh,
could
that
call
theme
it.
park,
It's
yeah.
a theme park. I don't think I ever completed that. I'll be honest. That was not. I just feel like the game wasn't possible. It just wasn't. You couldn't complete it. There was no closure to it.
Just
You know?
stood on
The
these
maps
kids'
were
streams.
interesting though.
Yeah, they were
felt
nice.
like.
They kind of looked a bit.
And they were quite big considering it's a PS2 game. I feel
Mm.
like the games have potential,
Mm.
but I think it's only Simpsons Hit and Run that actually execute flawlessly. Like that was a amazing game. So it's like between that and Battlefront 2.
Although to be fair, none of the games were original. Like I believe Simpsons Road Rage, they almost got sued for that game because they stole it from this bus taxi game, which is exactly the same.
Wait, is it called Taxi?
It could have been called Taxi, yeah.
Yeah.
And then skateboarding was a rip off of was Skate a game back then? Like,
Yeah. Oh, don't know about it.
Skate or
Skate.
Tony Hawk?
Tony Hawk.
Yeah, Tony Hawk's. I believe they almost. I don't think they got sued for that one, but I think it was just obviously a rip off. And yeah, Simpsons Hit and Run is probably the most blatant rip off of GTA.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because they still, although
I think
two
it
of
was
them.
different enough though.
Yeah, it was.
feel
Simpsons
like
Hit
it
and Run,
was.
I feel like was just in a league of its own, just because
Yeah.
it was obviously inspired by GTA, but all the different things you can do in it and how fun it was bringing Simpsons. Well, actually being in the Simpsons world,
Yeah.
man. You just I can't remember how many times I put on those cheat codes where it was like one hit explosion and just would go around the whole place, and then like I don't know, it's just good memories from that game on like most servers, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a solid game. Like honestly, I mean, if Simpsons start making games again, they should make a Simpsons Hit and Run 2.
Remastered.
Oh yeah, they could do remastered, but I think we need a second
Oh, yeah,
one.
yeah.
I mean, with a new processing power, from these new consoles, man, that would be.
Can you imagine a HD Homer though?
That's
Just a
disgusting.
real life looking Homer.
No,
Have you seen that
On the
image?
internet, it's just weird, man. Freaky as hell.
Well, you know when the Simpsons game first came out, and some people thought the graphics looked a bit strange. They couldn't quite get their head around that. Maybe it'll just be another one of those,
Yeah.
Simpsons
Although-
game.
I liked it, to be fair. I played it to the very end, but
Yeah.
apparently it wasn't very received. It wasn't received very well, more like.
It was alright. I don't understand like why they decided to go for like a vertical split screen. That bugged me.
Oh, for 2-player.
Yeah, because we played together quite a lot. That was back when couch co-op was a thing.
Oh no, it was quite
Couch
cool.
co-op.
It wasn't just a vertical screen. It was kind of, it would take into account your position compared to.
To go like that.
Yeah, like it could
Diagonally
be
something.
diagonal. It could be landscape. It could be.
Wait,
portrait.
are you
Yeah, I'm
sure
pretty
it was that
was.
game?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the one. I think you could have it so it's just
I
portrait.
think that's
but-
Lego Star Wars you're thinking about.
Okay, Lego Stars has it too. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that was a
Simpsons
good game though.
game. Are you sure?
Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, I think it's Lego Star Wars. I'm not sure that game had it.
Oh,
I think it's just. I don't know. We don't have a. Is it Jamie? We need a Jamie.
Yeah.
Look that up,
Somebody needs
Jamie.
to-
Chris is meant to be a Jamie.
But
But he's just mucked up the recording now. Alright. Come on, Jamie.
Jimmy,
what was it that you want?
Just type in
Oi,
Simpsons.
why are you doing that? I'm watching that video later.
You got so many tabs.
What video is this, Tim?
I mean, I usually have that many tabs.
It's
but
about
on a bigger
ketamine.
screen. It's not even really a video.
Don't do
just
this at home, kids. Don't do that.
Type in anything like for Simpsons game co-op.
Yeah, just split screen or something.
Come on, Jamie. You're slacking here, man.
Maybe I'm trying to imagine it better than it was. You know, it got too much hate in my opinion. Too much hate.
Is it just called The Simpsons Game?
Yeah, yeah.
How does that differ from Hit and Run?
Well, this one for starters wasn't. Wait, actually, it kind of was a free roam game. How would you even describe what the Simpsons game was?
It wasn't really free roam. It's just that the levels were quite open.
Yeah, it's like if you traveled, it's kind of one of those games where as you go through the level, you could go back all the way. So in that aspect,
Yeah.
it kind of feels like free roam. So you could go back and try find any secret, I don't know, collectibles you're supposed to find. But was it free roam? I guess it wasn't really free roam actually.
It's still kind of linear, but like they gave you multiple pathways through like the game and stuff. Ah, Jamie.
I can't find anything.
We need a new Jamie. Okay, please. How long does it take to deliver a new Jamie? Jeff Bezos, please. Next day.
Oh, you didn't put Ver, man. You had to put the Simpsons.
Did you put
game.
Simpsons game? Is that what was your problem, Chris?
What was there at the start? What are you doing?
Simpsons the game.
Sorry, viewers.
This is what's wrong with the UK's education system. They can't produce someone able to do this.
Why is Fortnite come up?
What? Wait, really?
Go up. Okay. We
I think I'm lying about whatever this is.
we might have to move on.
You've just
Yeah, we might have to move on. It's an unfortunate name because it's just gonna bring up all the Simpsons games.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the Simpsons game. It's like, but why? It's not even the best one. What are you doing?
Okay. Well, moving on from The Simpsons, let's talk Nigeria, lads.
What could we really because we haven't really been there yet, so
Oh, okay. Well, that's for a future podcast.
Yeah, maybe that would be better for future podcasts. Because I mean, right now we just talk about corruption and maybe some like weird videos we've seen. Like a guy who was just like, what was he talking about? It was like crunk crack 'em. Just
there's some
What?
ridiculous
Remember, it's
political
ridiculous.
discussion that these two people were having, and they were talking utter nonsense. Like
Yeah.
it was supposed to be a completely serious video, but the words they was talking was just utter if we had a good Jamie, we could probably find it. But you'd have to type into the internet political krinkum clankum. So it might just show up. I don't know. Oh yeah, and that it's a K. It's a K. Okay, klinkum clankum. Understand?
I think if this doesn't work, we'll have to invest on an actual screen recording.
what?
Got pictures of frickin' is that Heidi Klum? You typed in clean Klum Klum.
Why aren't you on YouTube? Get yourself
where
on
Heidi
YouTube right
Klum's
now.
on,
What are you
man.
doing? If you go on YouTube and type in political clink, then it probably will come
Wait,
in.
was it political crink or was it like
Political-
political and political mind or
Hey,
something?
man, this is a shambles.
Genocidal flipping right and even away.
When do you want me to hit complete concept
We don't condone child abuse, man. Klim. Klum.
But I think
There,
yeah,
look,
that
it
that
came
shit-
up.
Really?
Go back. There you go.
I think it's quite a viral video, you know.
You Chris.
Just for the viewers, Chris just clicked on the wrong suggestion.
Oh.
Yeah, Ben, this is what you were meant to be doing, but tell that
What
not
did
tomorrow.
You gotta get used to doing this without me.
Where's the
What are you doing in
Hey,
the
on the frickin'.
that Mac keyboard is awful. I'm sorry.
Right, should we just move on because
Yeah, man, we'll move on. We'll save that for next time.
yeah.
Because I guess it's all Nigeria, all Nigeria
well,
stuff for
boy,
next time.
Okay. I don't know what else to talk about.
You said corruption, right?
We've been
Yeah,
going
we
on for
could
like an
save that
hour.
for next time too.
We could have been going on for an hour already, right?
Actually, hold on. What time?
Time flies when you're having fun, Michael.
Oh, I guess so. I guess that could be true.
You're having too much fun.
Let's talk about the relativity of time.
Oh, that's
The
fine.
relativity of time.
No, I hear it. What isn't it like if you? Oh, wait, are you being serious or are you joking?
No, well, okay, yeah, we'll go into it.
Oh, well, I'm probably mugging this, but depending on the altitude of where you are, then the time will either be fast or slow, right?
Yeah.
It has something to do with that. So
Altitude.
Depends on your speed.
So it's
Speed,
like,
yeah,
you
speed,
can
yeah.
Velocity.
take a rocket, go in a rocket,
mhm.
fly around the Earth really fast, and then come back, and you'll technically be younger than someone on the Earth.
Basically, if you've watched Interstellar, skip the next 5 minutes. You know.
So does that mean you could you could binge watch YouTube videos in less time than you can?
No.
Like, yeah, like let's say you want to waste a bunch of time, right? So you take a rocket up, I don't know, to the moon or something, and then you're watching your Netflix and you come back down. Surely you've wasted less time, right?
Yeah, but you've wasted a lot more money as well.
Oh, that doesn't matter. Come on, let's be honest.
Just thinking, Rich, that 0.001 second will make the difference to your life.
You can buy life.
No, this one doesn't go anywhere, does it? None of us are
Do-
experts in there.
Do you know NASA have to sync up their satellites because they get out of time with Earth?
But what? Because of this phenomenon?
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite a cool fact.
By like a fraction of a second, obviously, but yeah.
Does that mean you could go into like slow motion if you go really slow?
Yes, like
Yeah, I don't know about that.
What's the weirdest fact you know about time, Michael? Or reality in general?
My favourite song is actually called Time, so it's
By him.
Oh yeah, Hans
by
Zimmer.
hand. No, weirdest fact I know about time or reality to say.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not that much of a deep thinker, so I probably wouldn't know.
You listen to Jordan Peterson, Michael.
Time, yeah, but what does he talk about?
Enlighten
Time
us.
or
Produce.
nah, I can't.
responsibility.
Oh, so you want to talk about some moral principles or some meaning, purpose in our life? I don't know no facts. Okay, no. I didn't come here to spit facts about time. Okay, who am I?
You're milking a dead cow. There's no milk coming out.
Is it dry?
Stop squeezing the teat. Tim.
Okay, we'll move on
Luckily,
from
we're
time.
not scientists.
Yeah.
We're five mugs in a tavern. Okay, we
Yeah.
can't be having this.
Mugs in a tavern. That should be the name of the podcast.
Yo, Sam, so tell me about corruption.
About corruption. Oh, well, I mean, like Nigerian corruption.
No, your favorite type of corruption, maybe. You know,
My
it doesn't have to be
favourite
Nigerian corruption. It could be any type.
Does
of
everyone
corruption.
have a favourite?
My favorite type of corruption.
The
I
Polish.
just wake up in the morning and it's like, corruption. Oh man, what's bugging me today about corruption? I don't know. Maybe I could talk about. It's not really corruption, but like like how house prices are like driven up in like certain areas because of. I think like the main phenomenon that drives up house prices, and it's not technically corruption, but it feels like it's taking advantage of of what's it called, the
Exploitation.
system. Yeah, and it causes like crazy inflation and
yeah.
all this nonsense. Because it's not as bad in UK because you only have London. There may be a few other posh places that are expensive to live, but it's not really because you have the really expensive houses and you can still get a reasonably priced house like right next to it.
Yeah.
Like maybe something like Cambridge. I don't think it's expensive everywhere in Cambridge.
Probably not.
But like maybe they have like a few houses that are millions.
Yeah.
Like in London, even like the freaking cupboard, it's like it's gotta set you back more than like a 1 or 2 bedroom flat in Norwich.
Yeah, because you're paying for the land, aren't you, in these kind of places? Not so much the building.
Yeah, and it's like it gets to the point that like any city that is growing fast and has a lot of individuals moving there, not like families, like the house pricing gets out of hand because landlords are like, houses are no longer houses. Everything becomes an investment.
Yeah.
So it gets to the point where landlords basically try to buy up these houses so then they can sell, like, what do you call it? Not even sell, rent out like each room individually, and they can get way more for it that way. Because this is a crazy thing. It's actually cheaper getting a brand new build in London than a used house.
Brand new build.
Way cheaper.
Why?
Why?
Is it because of the position?
It's because like so I don't know like exactly what you call it, but like these companies, construction companies, I'm not really sure who owns it. I think maybe an investor, so someone who's like a bigwig comes in, they buy in a contract for some land and they build like a tower block on it.
Yeah.
And like because they're like a bigwig or whatever, they're just trying to sell like the houses, like you know how houses are normally sold. So then because of that, like the margins, because they built it from scratch, is like much better for them, so they can sell it at a reasonable price. It's like a 3-bedroom flat in London, in a place I can't remember. I think it's near Canary Wharf, which is a pretty expensive place for London.
It's the finance district, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think like 3-bedroom flat. Like the flat looked brilliant because it was unfurnished, but
Yeah.
it's just like a very open living area. Very like, you know, because it's brand new, it just looks really great, and the bedrooms are fair size, and like just the area, it's nice. It's not like kind of like scummy and all that stuff. Like not being mean to anyone, but there's some areas that I kind of feel like I have to say it because of how much you're still paying for it. Like if you're paying cheap for that, then it won't be too bad. But it's like 1,800, so that might sound like a lot, but if you wanted like a 3-bedroom that's from like a used house, you could easily pay that much and more, and it's like a house that is probably half falling apart by then. So yeah, I think like if the council can kind of disincentivize this whole multiple occupancy sort of like gig, whereas agencies can't come in and be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna sell like rooms individually. It's gonna be more like if you kind of want to get a house, it's gonna be a group of people who are gonna kind of get like a single occupancy and agree to it that way. Or I think some places got like a cool sort of contract where you get the house as a group, but then you can switch the contract as many times as you want, so individuals can leave and come back and whatever. So I think those kind of contracts will kind of make the prices more stable, because it's not as profitable to rent or to buy a house and to rent it out. Because I think once you get to the point you break even, like why do you need more money? Because you basically just get in a house and then someone else is paying the mortgage for you.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what it is. But landlords get greedy. They want to squeeze every little money out of it, like at the cost of just, you know, general like hygiene, cleanliness, and all this stuff. So it's not great.
Oh yeah, like even like with student houses, you find it hard to find an actual nice student house that's clean.
Yeah.
Without any cracks or like cobwebs or like a dead rat in the corner.
Dead rat in the corner, yeah. I mean, like the place where I was at, like had like 2 showers. You can't lock the door in either of them.
Damn.
So like, I mean, when one of my friends like came over to London with me, he was like, "Yeah, that's not a big problem." It's like what the hell, man? Like I'm just gonna be showering there like butt naked. I just gotta walk in and be like, ugh. And like it's just, I don't know, like that's just a weird like optic. Just the fact that like you can't lock your shower door, and like I think one of the lights for one of the showers like had gone out, and it's one of the ones that like, yeah, we're not going to dismantle that because it's not like just a light bulb dangling. It's like an integrated sort of light, and like, yeah, it never got fixed, none of that.
So you have to bring your phone in or something like that.
Yeah, and I think I found something out pretty interesting, is that like, because the people I lived with, I'm not sure which ones were the messy ones, but at least 2 were bad. Like I basically got to the point, and this is why I kind of put on weight when I went to London, where like I would just never like go to the kitchen apart from to maybe get something out of the fridge. Occasionally I would use like the oven, but I would just stay out of the kitchen because it smelled like shit, because there was like these 2 bins that like were overflowing, and it just got to the point, it's like I could clean it, but it's like I didn't contribute to it because I basically used my own bin in my own room whenever I had stuff, because I knew that, you know, I don't want to like add to this mess, then I'd be partially responsible for it and then like clean it. And like it just got to the point where the whole thing just smelled terrible. And I think like the redhead, the fire redhead, because she's a so I think like, okay, I can't be mean to well, I can be, but I don't want to talk too badly of someone that I don't know. But I think she's a more of a maybe you got a bit more of a temper, that kind of temperament.
Yeah.
Like, you know, personality to match the hair, and like like I think she, like, at one point the bins were gone. I was like, awesome, someone got rid of them, great, no one can put more shit in it, so it's not gonna get messy again.
Were they in the hallway?
Nah, but then the thing is, I found out where the bins went.
Your room.
Nah. Man, that'd be scary. But like that, like I thought like someone just got pissed off of the bin, so they just picked them up,
Yeah.
went outside and just chucked them in the skip like hole.
Damn.
But like I think what happened is that she basically was sick with like how messy it is, because I think she might be a bit one of the cleaner ones. So she like took the bins, like emptied them, and then she just took them out to our balcony and just like put them next to her like window.
Okay.
So like outside though, and like it's in the community area, someone could have still found them and like brought them back to the kitchen, but I think no one ever used the balcony. In fact, I don't think anyone used the balcony or the living room apart from to dry their clothes.
Oh yeah.
So I think she got away with like hiding it there, and I think I also saw like lots of like cigarettes and stuff, and I have a feeling that, I don't know, maybe she smoked in the balcony all the time, or maybe she just smoked out of her window. So I don't know, but like yeah, I'm pretty sure she's the one that, I had a feeling that it was her, but then when I saw the bins there, like, nah, this is probably you.
That's a pretty reasonable response, though. I thought she was gonna, I don't know, start cracking down on the doors of the people, like, hey, come here, you piece of crap, and just start trying to, like, I don't know, start a fist fight with them for being so messy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if she saw someone, like, she was in the kitchen, she saw someone putting shit in the bin, but not really putting it in the bin. It's kind of like the bin's really overflowing. It's kind of like, and then, you know, like when someone's like really trying to balance like whatever extra crap they got on top of the mound, and then it just slips to the bottom. They're like, and then walk
the
off.
opposite of Jenga.
Yeah.
I try to think to myself, though, who are these people? Like, are they that guy in, you know, like in school, you kind of wonder, the crappers in the corner of the room who are just always just knobheads, or just, you could tell that they had no futures. Are they the people who then go into these house shares and they're just really like disgusting and messy like that? Like, who are these people?
Because I think, like, so I think it's basically people that don't know what they're doing.
So they got kicked out of their parents' house and then they're like, there.
Because like I guess I was one of them. Like I had to. It's kind of sudden, just move into London. I had no plans to move to London, so, and like my work was a little bit disorganized at the start. Like they weren't like so clear when I was starting, so I didn't have much time to actually like get all my stuff and like move to London and find a place.
Research.
So I wanted to find a place really close to work just to make things easier for me, because I didn't know the public transport was actually going to be as good as it was when I got to London. Because I mean the place I live was like redundantly close. It was nice that I got to bike into work, but if I had to take the tube, like the it's crazy. The trains are so frequent. Like when it's in the morning, that a train will pull up, and then it will leave, and the only reason why there isn't another train there is because it stopped at the end of the platform. So it's almost like a continuous line of trains. So like a train comes like every 30 seconds, like 1 minute. And it's like, and they're still completely packed, every single train.
Yeah.
But like the transport's like really good. It's really easy to get anywhere, even if you need to go like 14 miles out from like the center from where you are. It's really easy to get there.
Is it is it like £1.50 per trip?
So yeah, I think off peak £1.50 per trip, and peak time things like £2 something.
Okay.
But like if you travel every day, you'll just get like a weekly ticket, something like that. But I think it's just people who like the agencies can take advantage of, because they don't know anyone and they're a bit of a goon because they don't know any better. They'll kind of like take advantage and just kind of throw us all into like these kind of like houses. Because the guy next to me was there's, I don't know, like, well, he kind of got screwed over too, because he moved in and then the landlord said, yeah, you have to get out. But like he was just, I don't understand like what he was doing at times, because I don't know what speakers he had, but they must have been fairly big, way too big to have in just a room. Even if he had a detached house, still probably too big. So it felt like I was like living next to a club at times.
Oh.
So even if I had headphones on, it wouldn't matter, because I could still feel the music coming in through my feet,
Yeah.
through like the walls and the floor. and like he always played like the same song. So I have a feeling that he might have been a music producer or something. He's just working on this song, and I mean he should give up because it's terrible. I mean, like honestly, I don't know, but yeah, because he was a goon, I know for sure. Like 2 other guys, yeah, they were probably goons. The guy opposite me he's probably not a goon, but I think it's just like me, like he thought everyone else was a goon, I thought everyone else was a goon, so we just kind of like went our separate ways. There was like a older lady, and then there's like the fire redhead, and then there might be like a few other people that kind of switch places with some of them, like as it went on. And on average, I can tell that we're kind of not a desirable bunch so much, but like now I'm getting used to London. I'm more comfortable. Like I think, like if any advice for anyone moving to London, even though you might like watch some videos and see some ridiculous stuff like people interviewing for houses.
Damn, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, you had to interview with the current housemates to see if you're like a good fit.
Yeah.
To get it. When I first saw that, I was like, that's freaking ridiculous. Screw that. I've just gotta go like live in a place, never talk to anyone. Like I'd rather do that. But then I realized that actually it's kind of really weird.
Yeah.
Being in the house and not knowing who's in the house, because as I was saying before, like one time I opened the door and it was a fire redhead. She just barged straight in, and I think I was like propping up my bike, so like I just let go of the door and like hit her on the way, rather on the way up, on the way in, and like I think she was just didn't say anything else, and I was just like, oh sorry, but like yeah, I don't know. But I think it's like better to avoid situations like that. Like just interview with like houses where like the people that are actually friends, because then you don't live in this weird situation, and like it'll probably be a better time for you. Especially if you're moving to London, it's actually better to know someone.
Yeah, network,
Some-
because like then people know the cheapest places to get KFC or something like that.
Yeah, because I guess it's kind of like busy cities are kind of hard to meet people in, because like even though there's a ton of people, everyone is walking everywhere, going everywhere at 1,000,000 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of find places where people are stationary, and if you're not the type of person to just kind of like pee away, what's it called, pickup artists, that kind of thing, or just someone who just talks around people on the street, can be quite difficult. But yeah, like the housemates is a good start, so I would advise that. And those houses are gonna be clean, because like you get a chance to like kind of interview them to see like what they're like, because if they're messy, then and you're a clean person, you can avoid them. But you just don't go into one of the, because it seems attractive. It's like, oh, I don't need to know anyone. Oh, awesome, just move in. It's like, nah, it's actually not so great.
Yeah, and then you lose leverage on people like who actually commit the trash.
Yeah,
You
like
guilt them into it, because like they're not going to see you again, maybe.
yeah, and it's just like oh man, it's just one of those things. But like, I mean, I could have made an effort to at least, because I had a bad opinion of the redhead from the start, because like the first time I met her, I think, when was that? I can't remember. I think like I was leaving. I think she was like coming down to like get some takeaway food, or I think we passed at some area, and like it maybe wasn't even me who passed. I think she passed someone else, but like because I'm quite perceptive to how people are, like I could tell, yeah, this person's kind of a little bit of a bitch. Like maybe she's just a tsundere, for anyone who's into like anime, but it's like a type of character that they might be soft on the inside, but for no reason they're just a bitch. They're just kind of hardened on the outside. She's kind of like, she looks through people. She's like that. She like looked through people, because it wasn't even that she looked through me. It was like she looked through someone else. Can't remember the context, but that's when I was like propping open the door to let her in, and she looked through me. I was like, I'm not surprised, and like I didn't intentionally mean for the door to hit her, but I was like, yeah, that kind of
Sam, the woman beater.
Speaking about closing
domestic
doors,
violence.
we're gonna have to close the door on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's been over an hour, I think. So, any last words? It's been good having you on.
Sweet, yeah, it's been good being here.
It's been great.
Okay, well, Avida saying from Tim.
Goodbye from Ben.
Have a good one from Michael.
Catch you later from Sam.
And Tschüss from your fellow German, Christopher Meyer. I'll just put my full name.
You're gonna